Manchester United eyeing up £25 million deal for Jonathan David. Joshua Zirkzee, personal terms apparently agreed. And Jarrad Branthwaite, financial fair play below. These are some of the stories we will be discussing on this evening's show. But before we get into that, please do me a small favour. Smash a like on today's video. Let's try and see 200 likes on this evening's show. And if this is your first time watching, please do subscribe to the channel. I had a quick look at the YouTube stats yesterday, and only 50% of people who watch these videos are subscribed. So if you are one of those 50% who isn't subscribed, please do subscribe, get involved. We're live every single day and everyone is welcome. Right, let's start the show off by talking about Jarrad Branthwaite then. So for anybody who's been living under a rock, Manchester United submitted a bid of £35 million plus £8 million in add-ons. That was last week. It was rejected by Everton. Everton reportedly are asking for £70 million, which is absolutely ridiculous. Now, I've been telling you this for quite a long time on the channel that Everton need to sell a player before June the 30th. Otherwise, they could face a points deduction. And there are multiple different players that could be leaving Everton. Apparently, they only need to sell one to kind of sort out their finances. And there is some bad news. Obviously, Man United fans and Manchester United had hoped that we could go to Everton and maybe get a cut price deal on Jarrad Branthwaite because they were desperate to sell. But it looks like Dominic Calvert-Lewin is going to leave Everton and is close to completing a deal at Newcastle. So what this effectively means, Everton now don't need to sell any more players. They only needed to sell one player. And that one player is literally on the brink of being sold and he's going to move to Everton, and that's Dominic Calvert-Lewin. So I probably do think that the, what do you call it? The Jarrad Branthwaite deal probably won't happen now, to be honest. I think Man United aren't going to pay £70 million. Like, absolutely ridiculous. And the narrative this evening is that apparently Manchester United have had conversations with Everton this week. They've tried to find an agreement, but they haven't been able to do it. So yeah, I think Manchester United and Jarrad Branthwaite is probably gonna not happen, being completely honest. And you know what? For £70 million, I'm not at all disappointed. I don't think he's worth £70 million. Like, no way. So I'll actually be relatively happy if we walk away from this deal. The same with what's he called? Michael Olise. Like, the amount of money that the Michael Olise deal would have cost, £60 million release clause, and he wanted 220k a week. Like, I'm quite glad in some ways that we are just walking away from these more expensive deals. And I think quite a lot of people in the chat and a lot of people who watch this show will be probably happy that we've steered clear of Jarrad Branthwaite. There are better players out there. There are better players available. Obviously, Lenny Yoro at Lille, 18 years of age, £50 million release clause. Like, he's a better player. Jean-Claude Todibo is a better player. Obviously, we can't get him this summer, but next summer we could probably sign him. I know that doesn't help us in the immediate future, but the point I'm trying to make here is we shouldn't give Everton £70 million just because we're desperate for a player. So yeah, I would effectively say that at this point, Jarrad Branthwaite to Everton is probably going to be off. Jarrad Branthwaite to Manchester United is probably off. Like, they've got their one sale. Dominic Calvert-Lewin is leaving Everton. He's joining Newcastle. So their financial fair play mess will be effectively resolved. But yeah, let me know in the comment section. Knowing now that Jarrad Branthwaite is effectively off the cards, who should Manchester United sign in the centre-back position? Let me know in the comment section. I would probably say Lenny Yoro would be the number one option. Then I would probably say Antonio Silva from Benfica. Obviously, we're after João Neves, but there is always the potential that we go for Antonio Silva. Only 20 years of age. Very, very good player. I don't know. I think he might have a release clause, but apparently Benfica need to sell someone as well. So yeah, that could work out for us. Yeah. So I'm just having a look now. Antonio Silva's release clause is £87 million. I mean, that's ridiculous as well. I'm sorry. There is no way he's worth £87 million. He's probably worth about 45, 50 at the most, Antonio Silva. It's just crazy at the moment. People's fees have just gone absolutely over the roof. Somebody says, what about Mark Gay? Yeah, Mark Gay would be a great option, mate. I would love to see Mark Gay at Manchester United. I really, really would. Yeah, I think he'd be a quality signing. My preference would probably be this. I'd probably go Lenny Yoro, then Mark Gahey, then Antonio Silva, then Gonzalo Inacio, and then Jarrad Branthwaite. He'd probably be the bottom of the list for me personally. Just because of all of the, the things you have to consider with that deal. Somebody says, what has happened with Branthwaite? If you've just joined the video, go back to the beginning and you'll hear everything. Stretford Gamer says, honestly, there are much better players than Branthwaite, so let's go to the French league. They've got generational centre-backs, I swear. Yeah, I agree with you, mate, 100%, without a shadow of a doubt. Somebody says, how about Bastoni? Bastoni's an interesting option. Obviously, we were linked to Scalvini as well, who plays for Atalanta. Giorgio Scalvini, 20 years of age. There are so many players out there, so many different centre-backs that would suit what we're looking for. So I'm actually somewhat glad that we're not just going to spend our whole transfer window going after Jarrad Branthwaite and then getting our pants pulled down by Everton and paying 70 million for somebody who's worth probably about 30 realistically. And yeah, it's good. It's good that it seems like so far Ineos are learning from the mistakes of old. Obviously, they haven't done it. They haven't signed anyone yet, but yeah, hopefully this is the beginning of a changed Manchester United. Everyone who's just joined the video, if you could do me a small favour and smash a like, that would be really, really appreciated. Let's try and see 200 likes on this evening's show. And if this is your first time watching, please do subscribe as well. I'm live every single day in the morning and in the evening. And YouTube has told me that only 50% of people who watch this video is subscribed. So if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. It's completely free and everyone is welcome, so get involved. Okay, let's move on to Jonathan David then, shall we? Because this one kind of caught me by surprise. Because we've been talking about Joshua Zirkzee constantly. Literally, constantly, every single day. But the headline is this. Apparently, Jonathan David is available for only £25 million this summer. The reason for that is because he's only got 1 year left of his contract. His contract literally expires this time next year. Obviously plays his football for Lille in the French league. Had a pretty good season. He got 19 goals in the French league and 4 assists. So 23 goals and assists in 34 games, which I think is a pretty good return. He was the second highest goal scorer after Mbappe. Last season, he got 24 goals and 4 assists. Again, a very good season. And the season before that, he got... let's have a look. What he got the season before that. Season before that, he only got 15. But yeah, do I want Jonathan David? I mean, in an ideal world, I would get Jonathan David and Joshua Zirkzee because I think they're both very different players. And I think we could use both of them in different positions. Obviously, Zirkzee is a striker, but he can play on the left wing and on the right wing. Whereas Jonathan David is, again, a striker, but he can play as an attacking midfielder. So I would like to see either of them at Manchester United, but I don't think we'll sign both just because of budget restraints. But it would be interesting to see what you guys think. Would you like to see Jonathan David at Manchester United? £25 million. It seems like a bargain, I think. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see what you all think about Jonathan David. Anthony says we may lose Lindelof soon. Not that he's very good, but we'll need 2 centre-backs. Yeah, we'll talk about Lindelof in a minute. Aman says, who is Manchester United's number 1 signing in your opinion? I'll be honest with you, mate. I think we need 3 signings at a very minimum. We need a centre-back, probably 2 centre-backs. We need a CDM and we need a striker. So it's very difficult to say what we need as a priority because I think we need all 3 of those positions as a priority. We've only got 1 striker and that's Rasmus Højlund. We've only got 1 first-team centre-back and that's Martinez. And the only CDM we've got is Casemiro. Obviously, Amrabat's not our player. He's gone back to Fiorentina. So, yeah, it's difficult to say what my 1 priority signing is. We need 2 or 3. 4, really. 2 centre-backs, a midfielder and a striker at bare minimum. So, yeah, I can't, unfortunately, give you an answer on who my number 1 priority is, which yeah, I can only apologise. I can't do it. But yeah, let me know what you think about Jonathan David. I think he's, I don't know, he's not someone I like a lot, but he's an interesting option, and obviously he's quite cheap. But let's talk a little bit about Joshua Zirkzee then. So the headline this evening is that apparently Manchester United are now close to signing Jonathan David. It says Zirkzee's agent, Kia Zorabichan, had been demanding substantial commissions from AC Milan. Relations between the agent and Milan are difficult, meaning that the agent is now unlikely to lower his asking price for them. It says the figure United will pay for commission is expected to be much less. So people are now saying that the personal terms are already agreed between Manchester United and the player. He wants to come to the club. He likes the idea of playing under Erik ten Hag. Oh, I'm going to sneeze. Sorry, everyone. He likes the idea of playing under Erik ten Hag. But obviously, as we all know, it's the agent commission which is the problem in this transaction, because the agent was reportedly asking for around £12 million, which is absolutely ridiculous. Like, yeah, crazy money. But apparently he'd be willing to accept something around 6 million. So there's definitely potential there. Hopefully in the next couple of days, we get a bit more of a confirmation, and hopefully we get a here we go. You know, like, we need to get Joshua Zirkzee. He should be a priority. So yeah, hopefully within the next kind of 24 to 48 hours, I'll be back with a here we go for Joshua Zirkzee. Let's have a quick look at what people are saying in the chat. Ginge says we need 2 centre-backs, 2 centre midfielders, both full-backs and a striker. If we only sign 3 players, we will finish 8th again. Yeah, I agree. We do need 2 centre-backs, 2 yeah, I mean, we need a lot of positions, but you have to be realistic. You can't just say we're going to get... We might not get all of these things in one window. It might take, 2 or 3 windows. It might be this summer, January, and the summer after, Alex says Maximilian Bayer is 4 times the player and the same money. I think he's a different style of player, though, realistically. But, yeah. Right, I'm going to wrap the video up here, guys. It was just a short one tonight to bring you all of the news. I'll be back live tomorrow. What time will I be live tomorrow? I'll be live at about 9:15 tomorrow. Usually it's 8 a.m., usually it's 11 a.m., but the weekends have kind of thrown me a little bit. But I will be live tomorrow morning. Please make sure you subscribe on your way out. Please smash a like on the video. This has been Daily Red Devil. Have a lovely evening, everybody. Enjoy all of the football we've got to watch, and I'll speak to you all tomorrow morning.